us not prosecuting the entire Republican Party as it is right now is a slippery slope. We need to round up every single Republican in office. We are at the tipping point. The Republicans are enacting the same laws the Nazis enacted at the beginning of their reign of terror. We must realize what is happening now and declare that the Republicans are Nazis. And under international law, as established during the trial of Adolf Eichmann, they must be prosecuted for piracy. It is the law. We must start law and order. It is the law. We must enforce the law for our own good. Adolf Eichmann was arrested in Argentina and prosecuted in Israel for the crimes he committed in Germany. The Nazis, first thing they did were enact laws against LGBTQ. The first ones they went after were gay people and trans people. This is exactly the way the Nazis did what they did. The first people they went off after were the same people that the Republicans are going after. They banned books. They're taking books out of libraries. They are Nazis. We cannot. Book bans, anti-LGBTQ laws are Nazis. And they must be deemed Nazis. We must arrest them for piracy under international law. Military court. They are outside the civilian courts. We can prosecute them without going to the Supreme Court or the civilian courts that are protecting them. In fact, some of the Supreme Court justices should probably be arrested under the same jurisdiction of the court of either military court, or we can ask for a tribunal of international citizens, other governments, to send ambassadors to stand as a jury. I'm not 100% perfect, and I'm not an expert on their rules. We must arrest these people. They are criminals. We must get rid of them. So we must arrest these people and try them as pirates that they are. We must get rid of the Nazis before World War II era situation happens again. They're going to go after the Jews. Then they're going to go after anybody who is different. They're already saying it out loud. These are things that Donald Trump has said he was going to do. He's going to arrest and execute people who just have different opinions than him. This isn't a difference of opinion. This is when they say who they are, believe them. They are admitting to being Nazis, Christian nationalists. The Nazis were Christian nationalists. They admit to being Nazis. We must believe them and we must prosecute them under the law. Enact justice on the world and get rid of Nazis everywhere. I do not want the same thing to happen in my country that happened in my ancestral lands, one of my ancestral lands. My family has German blood. My maiden name is Netzer. And my mother's maiden name was Buxenstein. Two German names. Two strong German names. My great-grandparents came over. 3 of them came over from Germany. My ancestors came over from that land prior to the First World War. And in the time they were here, while they were still alive, they saw what happened. Their children saw what happened. My grandfather fought in the Second World War. He was born the year after World War I ended, and he fought in World War II. We must stop this from happening here now. We said never again. And as a child, knowing my family history, I said never again. We cannot allow Nazis in America. We must take and protect our country from Nazis. We must prosecute the Republican Party for the crimes they are committing. The laws against LGBTQ are Nazi laws. We must eradicate anything. Nothing must be enacted that resembles the Nazis. We must protect our country from this Nazi attack on America. This is the Nazis attacking Americans. All the Republicans' book bans are Nazi attack on Americans. We must get rid of this danger to our country. We are in danger. You think because you're white. You think because, they're okay with blacks. There's a few blacks in office. Hitler had his honorary Aryans in his little group. He still was murdering them. You are not safe because 1 or 2 honorary Nazis are somewhat close to looking like you. It will not keep you safe. You will still be murdered. You are only good as long as you are a useful idiot in the Nazi era, in the Nazi world. We must end it. It is time to take matters into our own hands as a country and prosecute criminal activity. These laws are criminal activity and against the Constitution. Anything that is deemed as religious is against the Constitution. Under the Constitution, the government shall enact no law for religion. They cannot do anything against it, but they can make no laws preferring one. So any of these anti-LGBTQ laws are pure religion. And it's not even Christianity. It's fake Christianity. Because under the Bible, it doesn't even say anything. Anti-LGBTQ laws are unconstitutional. They do not care about the Constitution and the law. They are criminals and must be prosecuted immediately. They make their own laws. They are not Americans. They are criminals. They are Nazis, and they have no allegiance to anyone but themselves. And their hatred of people in America is staggering. We must get rid of these treasonous terrorists, the Republican Party. Only exceptions that are still true Republicans are maybe Mitt Romney. Liz and Adam are out of, so I'm not so sure. They're not in office, so. But there's a few that are just not in any office. Larry Hogan, Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney's still in there, but the ones that are speaking out, they're the only true Republicans. There are so few true Republicans. We need to take all the rhinos out of office. The entire House of Representatives is rhinos. Any vote against the best interest of our country, which includes them killing the bill for immigration that they just did, is a Nazi terrorist attack on America. We must get rid of criminals in all walks of life, especially our government. Drug addicts, we need to make hospitals to take care of them, and special institutions. We need to put mental institutions back in business and they can take care of the Republican normal people that just are being brainwashed, and we can have programs for them. People who don't want to be Nazis. and are recognizing this. They must go through a 12-step program. We need to set up programs for Nazis that are not trying to be part of it, not part of the situation. But they still must have something happen, even if they're not part of trying to enact criminal laws, unconstitutional laws, that the Supreme Court, their overturning of Roe versus Wade was unconstitutional. The Constitution protected Roe versus Wade. Under the 14th Amendment, slavery is illegal. And any unwanted pregnancy is slavery. Using your body against your will is slavery. So if a man, so rape is slavery, and there is actually no statute of limitations for rape. Just prosecute them for slavery. So Trump, although as a criminal act, as opposed to civil, it is a higher status for being found guilty. It's not more likely than not. It's beyond reasonable doubt. So we can still get rapists forever. There is no statute of limitations on slavery. So an escaped slave can. So rape, if you are not willing and paid for your labor, you are a slave. You have to be paid and you have to be willing. So if you're unwilling to go through the labor of carrying around a child, you are a slave. Even if it's just to a fetus, a clump of cells, you are a slave to them. And slavery is death penalty offense. We need to start prosecuting it as a death penalty offense. And many rapists should get the death penalty. Slavery is a death penalty offense. We need to take out these human traffickers that are the Republican Party, like what many people in the Republican Party are doing. And if any Democrats are found to have done it, I just haven't seen any evidence. Except only evidence I see are claims from Republicans. They're the witnesses on both sides. Honest ones are saying it, and then they're getting crazy people making nothing excuses that don't even know anybody, never met these people, that Donald Trump's paying to lie, are the ones who are the witnesses against Democrats. Every one of their ones, when they're telling the truth, they're saying it's going to do this, nothing comes of it. I mean, all of their own witnesses start with there's no evidence that Joe Biden did anything wrong. Did anything criminal. Nothing impeachable. When your own people start with that, you got a problem. We need to get rid of the Republican Party and prosecute them as the Nazis they are. This is criminal activity we must end.